Hello and welcome to another episode of What's on the Pile. I'm Nathan Besner, and with me is Jenner, Wagner, Jane, and Shane. You can all say hello at once if you wish.
Hello.
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 Let us take you back to a simpler time. Prince Charles and Diana divorced, comedy was littered with OJ jokes from last year, and the Nintendo 64 was released. Pulp Fiction had been released 2 years earlier, and it was still dominating the cultural landscape. Films that were dubbed Tarantino-esque, and still are, due to their neo-noir bits and rapid violent set pieces, lots of Mexican standoffs, lots of interweaving tales, and playing with time structure. Some were good, others not so much. Let's name a couple. There's the big hit I saw in the theater that's clearly one of the misses. I always had a soft spot for Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. I like that movie for some weird reason.
It had a very melancholy quality to word for it.
It did. So yeah, there are a number of films we can talk about as we talk about this film. And we'll probably also mention Guy Ritchie and Roger Avery. When 2 Days in the Valley was released, it was dismissed as another Tarantino-like. And that's fair. The film boldly asks the question, what if Altman did Pulp Fiction? Which is kind of silly. It's a weird, kind of backwards thing. But to me, the film is a culture clash between old Hollywood and new Hollywood. There is a lot of film history pedigree on the screen with this film.
Yeah.
You get Paul Mazursky when he showed up. I was like, holy shit, Paul Mazursky. He's playing himself, only suicidal. Louise Fletcher, Austin Pendleton. To me, the hat tip is Lawrence Tierney. And it's got Eric Stoltz, Danny Aiello, James Spader, Jeff Daniels, the rapist from Naked, and is probably most well known for kickstarting Charlize Theron's career. A lot of fantastic people. And Teri Hatcher. I would rattle on about the plot, but it's kind of more twisty, turny, interconnected. And so why don't we just jump into it and weigh in? What did you all think of 2 Days in the Valley, having re-seen it or seen it for the first time? Meh.
Really? It was my first time. I loved it. This was like right up my alley.
Yeah.
I mean, I was all about the Tarantino-esque multiple storylines converging. I still am. I'm still a sucker for those kinds of movies. I thought it was funny. I don't think it was necessarily always played as funny, but every time a storyline converged with another, I thought it was funny because it was always we're following one storyline and someone just wanders in. Like, sometimes literally just Teri Hatcher just wanders into the scene, or Paul Mazursky and the nurse just show up at the British guy's house. Like every time I thought it was funny, even if it wasn't played for laughs.
No, I do think that this was primarily a comedy, or at least intended to be.
And this movie had a surprising amount of heart, like coming from places I wasn't expecting. Like I wasn't expecting Danny Aiello's story to go where it went. When Paul Mazursky showed up, I assumed he was going to be like a scumbag, washed-up director. Like when he has that amazing scene with the guy out walking his dog, that just the guy just unintentionally just tears him apart.
Yeah.
We know he has a gun. I fully expected him to pull out a gun and shoot him.
That would have been cool. I would have
Austin
liked
Pendleton,
that.
one of the all-time great world-class that guys. Just shows up to completely just be such a dick for just that one scene. And that was the sequence I always really remembered about this movie, having not seen it since I'd seen it in theater. I always remembered the bit with Austin Pendleton just being such a passive aggressive douchebag.
And let's
Pendleton is one of the all-time greats.
Let's not forget that he had 2 scenes in the movie.
Oh, he had another scene? The dog walking guy?
Yeah, when Eric Stoltz is thinking and processing the murder and all that, and he's sitting in front of the Japanese massage parlor, the client that comes out, the hand job house, the client that comes out is Austin Pendleton.
And you know,
I don't think I put that together.
The scene with him and Mazursky, I initially thought, like, why do we need that scene? Because we just saw him put his Emmy and use it as a toilet paper holder. But then I saw this. Then after I saw where the story was going, I was like, oh, we needed to see him get kicked in the nuts. Like that scene made sense later. So I really that storyline really surprised me. I didn't have any inkling of where it was going. I mean, the scene where he gives the dog away, like when she first peels off with the dog, the way he looks at the dog, like that's some fucking acting right there.
Yeah,
like that like pulled at my heartstrings. So I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun and a lot of heart. I thought in unexpected places.
And I'm going to agree with you there. I really like this as well. I mean, not top 10 movie, but I really enjoyed pretty much all of it. And much of it was because of the heart you mentioned. Because this is kind of like if Quentin Tarantino did a movie with heart in it. I realize it's a little fumbly around the material. It doesn't have the kind of polish we'd like to see from some dialogue of Tarantino's, but I did not doubt at the end that the washed-up director was going to end up with the nurse, and that Danny Aiello was going to get away, because it kind of signaled that everything was going to be okay in the end, despite the fact James Spader was wandering through, being his typical perverse self. I can't remember where I heard it was James Spader in yet another of his utterly perverse roles or something like that.
Limeball.
That's not a bad way of putting
it. Conscience, yeah.
Did anyone else think that James Spader looked like a younger Nate in that movie? Like if Nate shaved.
Did not, but now I'm kind of like, well,
now
the way he yeah.
That's where I saw you before.
Sorry. Spader wasn't really at his best here, I think. It wasn't bad, but it was a little unpolished. How early in his career was this?
This was late. He was kind of one of the marquee names on this one. This was after Stargate, after Less Than Zero. I think was probably the one back in the '80s that put him really on the map. His career was mature by this point.
Okay, he may have just been a little underwritten then in this, because he was just sort of a perverse sicko, and there wasn't a lot of depth to his character here. So he might have just been a little bit underwritten for my taste. Because his plain motivation was so at odds with the rest of the film.
Yeah, I kind of wondered. I mean, given that this was around the time of Crash, I kind of low key wondered whether he wasn't choosing roles based on who he got to make out with at the time. He always said, at least back then, that he did not that he usually didn't watch his movies after they were made. So he was in it for a buck and messing around a bit. Maybe I don't want to impute the man's character of his work.
I wonder.
You're right.
I wonder if how much hit the cutting room floor on this movie, because I don't feel like they would just abandon Jeff Daniels' story with no ending to it. It's like ends in the middle. Yeah. There's more to that got dropped because it couldn't be 2 hours and 15 minutes because nobody wanted that at the time. That's my theory.
I agree. That
feels like a fair theory.
Broke my heart because I wanted more of that. I wanted not it's not a resolution, just something better than him just screaming fuck at a broken window, holding his son's toy.
It's weird that, I mean, they kind of made him a despicable character and then they tried to bring him halfway back, but then they just kick him repeatedly. Yeah. That's the end of his story.
Yeah.
It was the one thread that just sort of wandered off from the rest, everything else tied together.
Well, I will say that everybody who did something wrong seemed to get comeuppance, and I think morally the movie judges Teri Hatcher as having done nothing wrong, which I'll agree with as a character.
Really?
Having your shithole husband who tries to rape you in the first 5 minutes killed.
Yeah, he was awful.
If you can get away with it, why not?
Well, I did have. I mean, She doesn't know that James Spader is dead. I wouldn't try to rip off that kind of man. Like, did she plan? It seemed like she had planned all along. She had planted that car there at the end because you see her bumper sticker. It's clearly hers. She's been wandering all night on the streets. Supposedly, she doesn't know what happened to anybody. She just fucks off. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't just try to run away if Lee was after me.
See, that was one of my major issues with the whole thing, is that there is no way that these people would have actually gotten away with any of this. Not even close. I mean, Jenny Aiello's character and the girl, I mean, easily tracked. Not even back in the 90s, they would have been found out. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, this all kind of depends on, did anybody else that was there, you know, keep their mouth shut? And if, I mean, there was...
Yeah, I
on the ground with his legs shut.
I agree with you. James Spader's character is kind of stupid. They explain him as some kind of genius, but every move he makes is so stupid. And that's like his introduction. He's stupid when he tries to kill Danny Aiello. He doesn't. He's trying to frame it on this guy. So I guess, what are they going to do? The cops are going to show up, be like, "Oh, I guess this guy's the one who did it," and then he just blew up.
Yeah, he blew up his car, leaves some coke, also drops the most obvious cigarette pack that's obviously planted. Like,
yeah,
what are they going to think happened to Danny Aiello? He just blew himself up after he got shot.
He's a weird cartoon character who has wandered into the middle of an otherwise a noir, and he's just cartoonishly evil. And
he's playing Bond villain.
Well, now think about it this way. He is the new Hollywood. The representation of what Hollywood is now, thinks it's genius, works in riddles and has clever gimmicks, and causes a lot of blood to spray against the screen, as opposed to the old Hollywood with Paul Mazursky, who is more drawn back, but heavily emotionally distraught. I like looking at it from that perspective, because to me there has to be a reason for him to be written in that way. It's too obvious.
But weirdly, the old Hollywood and the new Hollywood don't really come into conflict that much until the very end, where it's kind of perfunctory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're together at the very beginning, but then their two story arcs are completely separate until a coincidental meeting at the end. You'd think a face-off between old Hollywood and new Hollywood would have been more center stage if that was the point of the film.
I would think that the message in the end would be, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, that's as much as I like the movie, it kind of left me thinking, like, what was the point of all this? It was clever and fun, but it doesn't say a whole lot.
Yeah.
To quote Buckaroo Banzai, so what?
Also, you can have a lofty idea about a film and what you're trying to say and never being understood. Mm-hmm. It can still be a mediocre movie.
Yeah.
And I like this movie a lot. I saw it in the theater twice when it came out. I was heavy into all that as well. But there are problems with this movie that a out of left field theory kind of fixes. But you know, it's probably just not well written. Because what did he do? He did something later that ended his career. The director? Yeah.
Oh, Hertzfeld?
Yeah.
Hertzfeld.
I know he had previously done one of the Amy Fisher movies.
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Oh, Burns and De Niro?
One of the worst movies ever made, in my opinion.
I saw it in theaters, don't remember a thing about it.
It's so bad.
Never heard of it.
Isn't there a twist at the end, like where De Niro's the bad guy or something like that?
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, they're like, what if we did Heat again, but we just cast the same guys and do nothing else right?
I need to revisit Heat too.
Great movie.
According to IMDb, 15 Minutes is 6.1 stars, and 2 Days in the Valley is 6.5. So they can't be that different. Yeah. Great authority, IMDb.
I think it didn't make its money back or something. But it's also just a god-awful movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's just bad.
That was the one with like Carol Roden trying to get famous for doing crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen it. I don't remember seeing it.
Not a great movie.
So, but terrific. No,
he didn't really do any major features after that. He just what did he? I will look to see. Oh, have you seen Escape Plan: The Extractors?
I was gonna say I've seen Escape Plan. Is that one of the straight-to-video sequels?
That's the third straight-to-video.
Yeah,
the guy who made this movie made
what was it, Batista?
Yeah.
Was it the first one Stallone and Schwarzenegger together? I think that's the reason I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Schwarzenegger wasn't in the sequels from what I remember. But Stallone was.
Not as far as I know.
I think his only interesting film is 2 Days in the Valley, it looks like. After 15 Minutes, he did a TV series called Dr. Vegas, a TV movie called Sis. He was in a TV movie of the making of The Expendables. No, he directed that. He directed the TV movie of Making the Expendables. So he directed a DVD feature.
Nice.
Reach Me, which I've never even heard of.
He's hanging with Stallone, I guess.
Yeah, this is it.
A self-help book changes the lives of different people in the L.A. area. Who's the reclusive writer? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That is always
Stallone
kind of
and
like
Danny Trejo.
Any of these like sort of Hollywood story movies, it just feels like, they don't have any better ideas than just looking out their window. I don't know. I mean,
they're looking out their window and casting the people who walk by. It's got Sylvester Stallone, Kira Sedgwick, Thomas Jane, Kelsey Grammer, Terry Crews, Danny Trejo.
Wait, in the Expendables thing?
Are these people in the Expendables?
These are all people that were in the Expendables.
Oh, so he just grabbed them from Reach Me.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
He's just hanging out with all these action stars. Like, let's make a movie about a self-help book with all these guys. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah. Like half these people are. Oh, and Carrie Elways. Oh, Danny Aiello, because they're probably buddies.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom Berenger.
Wow.
Okay, maybe they did just look out the door and be like, "Hey, Tom Sizemore, come here. We really need to get you, Sally Kellerman."
Tom's Sizemore and Berenger in the same movie?
Yes.
And the inner solar system didn't turn into a black hole?
Sylvester Stallone and Frank Stallone in the same film.
Oh my God! The guy from
apparently famous people like him apparently. So there's that.
All right. Well, I have been reassessing how much I like 2 Days in the Valley, and I think overall, to me, without that theory, it's just a mediocre film with some good acting in it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun watching it come together. But on the first viewing, I think it was a lot of fun. I don't know if it would hold up if I watched it again, knowing where everything was going. If it would seem more contrived and more obvious, but I
liked it better than I remembered it. It's still kind of it's fun.
Yeah.
I like the weird art, like the guys on the dog face in the bathroom, or the dog with his face in the bathroom.
I made that our thumbnail on YouTube.
Oh, excellent!
I got a screen grab of it.
Yeah, but I like that thing. I wish someone would make one of those of me.
Yeah, that thing's amazing.
No,
I don't understand how that hasn't shown up on the internet.
That scared me. I actually jumped when Danny Aiello jumped.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
I like how he doesn't even address his reaction. He just keeps going after a minute. I love Danny Aiello.
I had to keep checking if that British guy. I had to keep checking if he was actually Richard Grant. He had the same look. I was like, wait, this is Richard Grant, isn't it?
I only know him from Naked and this.
Am I thinking of the right guy? One of the guys from Withnail and I.
Yeah, that's Richard Grant.
Yeah, Richard E. Grant. Yeah. No, the art dealer's delivery was felt very Richard E. Granty, but it was not Richard E. Grant.
Okay.
Well, he is kind of, I think.
Love his dog, by the way. Apparently, his dog's name is Mark Goldstein. So, that's the actual dog's name. So that's neat. That first scene of the dog just swimming, that dog is a champ. I like that dog.
I guess without my theory, I don't understand the purpose of the art dealer. I don't understand the purpose of Michael J. White, and I don't understand why they had to get a pretty straight guy to play a very effete stereotypical homosexual man. These things did not add anything to the movie for me. I think they were just supposed to be funny. And
wait.
Susan was supposed to be beaten down a little bit.
Right.
And she needed someone to save her from this. Yeah. To save her from this.
Oh, he had to be the villain
Which to me is like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of genius for him to be like disabled with kidney stones the entire time, because then he's the abuser, but he is in no way a threat at any point of this film because he can only move at a snail's pace. So he's an asshole who is. None of us are worried at any point that he is going to suddenly try to become an action star and turn things.
He's getting his he's getting his justice meted out in real time in this movie.
I was so confused when he doubled over in his first scene. Like, what the hell is happening? And then the gay black guy.
Ulcers.
Yeah, I did too. And I've seen this.
So what is that?
And the guy who puts him in the car and drives him away. That guy just vanishes, right? He's never in the movie again.
Michael J. White,
the guy from the club. Oh, that's who that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Dynamite himself.
What?
Yep.
Oh, that was that. Oh, that was him.
I bet he ran into Jeff Daniels later, and that's how they tie up those threads.
I think your first theory that there is a lot of this movie on the cutting room floor. I think I go with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel like it's missing a lot. At the same time, if you
already,
if you look at the guy's career, he did write this. So, bit of column A, bit of column B.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what else does anybody have to say about this movie? I think we've covered the whole. Charlize Theron, great,
unrecognizable from what she is now. I was kind of shocked.
And I was like, Teri Hatcher, you better not be picking a fight with, the action star queen. I was like.
That was a ridiculous fight scene.
Yeah.
That was let's rearrange the furniture with one another around this room.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Let's just run into the walls repeatedly. That was a ridiculous action scene, not very well choreographed.
At no point did I feel fear for Charlize Theron. Even after she got shot, I was like, nah, wouldn't have happened in real life. That she would have just gone bonk. And that Teri.
How did she even get there? She drove half dead.
Yeah.
How far away were how far away were those two locations? That's what I'm talking about. She just wanders into the scene.
She walked all the way to the house to find Lee, but not to find a doctor. That's some next level abuser shit. Like
she's got some priorities there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's true that if she went to the hospital, he could have been implicated, and she definitely would have been in some sort of crime. She can't go, well, I was just goofing around cleaning my gun
and
in my jumpsuit, in my sparkly jumpsuit.
And that dude was such a narcissist. She probably did think he was a genius. but he's really an idiot.
Yeah.
But Spader was playing Bond villain. Bond villains are geniuses and idiots. It's in the order of things. That said, you may remember how prominent Charlize was in the advertising for this. This was definitely sort of an instant American stardom situation. I think, justly. Of course, she's a treasure. She's an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she made an impression. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, we had our episode with what was it called?
Oh yeah, with her the old guard. Did you guys talk about this movie? I hadn't seen it, so I probably, if you guys talked about it, it didn't register with me.
I think we mentioned. I think we had to mention it. It was kind of a career overview discussion.
Yeah,
I don't remember whether we mentioned it. I assume we did.
Yeah, we probably did, and Jenner and I probably said I liked that movie, and then other people said I haven't seen it, and we said, oh, we should watch it sometime, and then we forgot about it because it's kind of forgettable to begin with. It's well known for Charlize Theron's
until
career.
Now.
Yeah, I mean, it's free on Prime. It's a great movie to watch on Prime. On if you have a couple hours to kill. I don't regret my time with it. Unlike, say, Reindeer Games.
Yeah,
another Charlize Theron crime movie.
I think the thing that Nate has effectively observed here is if you poke at it even a little, it completely unravels. But while you're watching it, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I now have nothing else to say on the subject. I think we can move on to our what we've watched this week segment. I really am. I'm leaving 2 Days in the Valley behind. I just don't think there's any more meat on the bone.
We mined that fully.
Oh, what?
We've mined it fully.
Yeah,
there's nothing left.
Exactly. Who wants
it's kind of a wind-up do-stuff machine. Yeah. It's like you say, it's a wind-up do-stuff machine. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. It's a good time.
It's a little bit weird. Again, it sort of comes back to the heart aspect of it, because at the end it has so much heart, but throughout it's so callous about various things. Between Spader and the handjob house, where we've got the detective, I don't know, entertaining romantic thoughts about one of the victims of human trafficking in there, and it's just I got a little bit of whiplash between it being so dismissive of one end of things and then jumping wholeheartedly on the true love train on the other end. But that's the only other thing I have to say.
I mean, also maybe somebody just didn't that maybe ended up on the cutting room floor, because they did spend not a long time with that woman, but a whole scene with her, Eric Stoltz, and then he just kind of looks at her one more time later on. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. There's so many chunks of this film you can forget about, because so does the film.
Yeah. It's very. It's not a great movie to talk about after you've seen it. It's a good movie to enjoy at the time and then forget about.
Okay, that was the only other thing I wanted to add.
All right. Who would like to go first with what you have watched this week? Raise your hand.
I'll go first.
There we go, Jenner.
Nothing.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Big goose egg. Working hard.
I have had a chance to see, other than 2 Days in the Valley, which I barely made in under the line. I have seen absolutely nothing in the last week because I am still in box land over here.
Well, I'll append on to that. I think I watched. I watched what they do in the shadows and last night, and this season has been tearing it up.
I am one episode behind.
Okay,
I didn't know it was back.
Don't tell me anything. I have not seen the new episode.
I'm not telling you anything. It was just real good last night, so enjoy.
The season's pretty wild.
And then, of course, I've been still watching my Korean dramas, and I just want to suggest that if anybody cares, Navalera on Netflix was so good. It was about ballet and this older gentleman, probably about 70, learning ballet because he had not been allowed by his father when he was younger to learn, and it was on his bucket list. But it fantastic. And now I'm watching.
that a movie? Is that a movie?
It's a 16-hour Korean drama.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
it's a 16-hour movie.
But they managed to make it interesting every moment. And I'm almost done with Something in the Rain, and Subway showed up in episode 10, and it is sponsored by Dyson. So, but it is awesome. I was watching it. I think the second episode or so, they go to the movies, and I'm almost certain they were watching Frances Ha. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a Greta Gerwig.
I've not seen that.
Great. It's really good. I love
great.
it.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm pretty sure that they were watching that, and I didn't like it up until then, but when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, they are doing like an American independent style movie. I mean, all the songs were in English, and the acting is amazing. So if anybody cares, Something in the Rain, it's great story. I'm a little worried. I'm pretty sure it's not going to have a happy ending. I'm almost positive.
No.
Yeah. So other than that, that's all I've been doing. I mean, I just take my ibuprofen after I move. Get all the stuff done, take a shower, take my ibuprofen, get in bed and watch, mindless stuff until I pass out.
Yeah.
So that's been it. No movies other than 2 Days in the Valley.
Awesome. That sounds fun. I want to see that show now about the old man in the ballet.
Navalera.
Yeah, me too.
It's amazing.
Sounds like a great movie, but that's a TV series. That's surprising.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really good. And it's worth the 18 or 16 episodes, 17 hours, whatever it is. It's really good.
Cool. Who's next?
I've only got two. Mine will probably be really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a coupon and I saw Blue Beetle, but I actually want to talk about what happened in the theater, not the movie itself. This isn't even that. This isn't even that bad. I know people have had like bad experiences in theaters. I bought this ticket like 3 hours ahead of time. I bought a ticket like way off to the side so I could, just in case. No tickets have been purchased when I bought it, so I got the seat way off to the side, not the very side, but pretty far off center. I get there, empty theater, except for this fucking old couple sitting right next to my seat. I go there.
You picked their seats so they could sit next to you.
So like either we in a freak accident bought our tickets at the exact same time, or they saw the seating chart, saw the empty row at one seat taken, and said, "Hey, let's just sit right next to that person."
So I'm sure of it.
So I go there and sit down there.
I wanted to make a friend.
I sit down next to them. Empty theater, feeling like a creep, even though it's not my fault. And then I sat there. Then during the previews, I got up and left and went to the other side of the row, which kind of felt like a dick move. I don't know if that's. I felt bad for just getting up and leaving.
You paid for a seat, and you didn't, and you wanted to be sort of by yourself.
No, that's exactly what I would have done. I don't think that's.
I would have exactly.
And then, then other people did show up. And every time someone showed up, I would be afraid they were going to walk over and be like, "You're in my seat." Except 10 minutes into this movie, these two fucking people walk in and come in and sit right next to me. And then I immediately got up and moved one seat over. So
that was amazing.
I don't know how this fucking happened, but the movie itself was fine. I mean, I went to see it because I got a coupon, and I like I don't even know his name, Miguel from Cobra Kai. He's the lead.
Yeah. He's also a very well-known Magic player.
Oh, really?
He's been on Command Zone, a Magic the Gathering commander show.
He's very charming in Cobra Kai. Basically plays the same character in Blue Beetle.
Zola or Zolo?
Zolo something, something. I don't know his last name.
Yeah.
But Susan Sarandon is a lot of fun as the villain. It's very steeped in Hispanic culture, which is cool. It's all, very centered on their family in the Keys. I'm not going to remember it in 2 weeks. It's fine. It was fun. But the whole seating situation was the most notable part of the evening, which was very annoying.
That's great. I love that story. I'm sorry you went through that, but I'm glad you did so you could tell us.
I mean,
entertained me.
On the scale of things, I know that's nothing, especially with bad theater experiences. There was a baby in the theater, but they were like in the front. I barely heard them. The other thing I watched was the Imitation Game, which I hadn't seen before.
Oh,
which Benedict Cumberbatch is very good. I knew the story about how Alan Turing was forcibly chemically castrated by the British government and then committed suicide like a year later. That isn't really touched. It's touched on in the movie. That's sort of mentioned like during the end credits. It says like he committed suicide a year after this or whatever. It's mostly about him breaking the German Enigma machine, basically inventing the computer in the process. Cumberbatch is good. Keira Knightley is very good in it.
Great score in that movie. Desplat.
Oh, really? I don't think I even noticed.
Why did they chemically castrate him?
He was gay, and he was convicted of indecency for having relations with a man or something. So they said he could either go to jail
this was when
or
being gay was very
There's the thing. There was also,
I don't know anything about Turing. I haven't seen the movie either.
Extenuating weird shit around the particular incidents for which he was arrested. I don't know the details of it, but it's not just that he was gay. There was something else.
It was something. The movie wasn't super clear on it. It involved like a male escort. But he was given the choice to go to jail and be taken away from his work or be chemically castrated. And then apparently a year later he committed suicide. But that's like the last 5 minutes of the movie. It's mostly about him, inventing the computer basically. So if you're into that, I was watching it for the science stuff. I knew it was going to end in a very depressing way, but since the movie didn't really touch on it, it wasn't as sad as I was thinking. But it was a fine movie. It was on Netflix. I think I was like, I was thinking about Oppenheimer because I really enjoyed that. It obviously doesn't have the scope or the reach of Oppenheimer, but if you're into like movies about misunderstood geniuses and you like watching true stories of people solving seemingly unsolvable problems, it's not a bad movie.
That's the kind of thing I actually do like.
Yeah,
it's a good picture. You saw it with
me. I've got it on the wall. I haven't gotten to it yet.
I know. I saw it with you. It took me a minute, and then I was like, "Oh right, that's right."
That's me.
Alrighty.
You or me, Wagner?
I can go next.
Okay.
I also haven't seen very much. We did do weekly movie night, so we have had several movies at this point which have been strongly advocated by my wife to show the kids for movie night. Over my cautionary notes, at which point we discover that her memory of the film is entirely based on the TV edit and contains some material that perhaps we shouldn't have. So we watched Tremors, which is great, but has an enormous amount of profanity in it. It did, however, have one banner moment in which I introduced this movie to the kids by saying that it's a scary movie, but it's also a pretty funny movie. And Lizzie, you should know, it was in the 80s. So if any of you have watched any Bluey, there is an episode of Bluey where they tell a story of the dad's past, and every time something unbelievable happens, he said, "It was the 80s, man." Like, riding your bike without a helmet, going off on the campground to brush your teeth by yourself, stuff like that. So we're watching the movie and we get to a point.
Tremors was released in the 90s, though, right?
It was 1990. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I was 11, so it would have been 90.
Yeah. Okay. So I was
something
close
like around there.
I mean,
you were close.
Yeah.
I can respect it for making it
the reference,
like the sell point
it was
for.
Probably filmed in the 80s.
Yeah, it was definitely filmed in the 80s. Without a doubt.
Technically correct, which is, of course, the best kind of correct.
That works.
And we get to a point in there where the two leads, Kevin Bacon and
Fred Ward.
Michael Gross.
Fred Ward.
Burt Ward? Or
Fred Ward.
Are sharing a cigarette.
Yeah, Fred Ward.
And of course we have to turn to the room full of kids and go, now, of course, you shouldn't smoke. It's not a good idea. It's addictive. It'll cost you a lot of money. but it's in the movie, and my daughter pipes up and says, "Yeah, but it was the 80s." So she immediately turned it on us.
How old
my daughter
are your...
to run out of the room for it being too scary at one point. But when the shopkeeper got eaten, that was pretty much all she could
old Victor Wong.
Yeah,
Victor Wong gets eaten, which is sad. But like the rest of it, came back about 5-10 minutes later. So we watched Tremors.
How old are your kids right now?
Lizzie is 8, and the boys are 7 and 6.
I feel kind of bad now because you began the talking about it by introducing like I might have been a bad parent for doing this, but and I showed Amelia Tremors when she was 6, and it's still her favorite movie.
Oh.
Yeah, Lizzie is a little more delicate of a soul, I think. I have made a point of not trying to introduce her to, my style of movies too much because I want her to come to her own. That might have been a mistake. We'll see.
I just refuse to stop watching what I'm watching when the kids are in the room, and I think it's been beneficial because I've explained to them how things are done, and they can like be more analytical.
I don't know, Jenner and I. When Trey would walk in, I'd be like, pause it, because
there's stuff I pause when my wife walks in the room. So, but again, this was strongly advocated for by my wife, who then proceeded to be shocked at how violent and how profane it was throughout, because it was not in her version that she got to see as a kid.
Although
PG-13, right?
Yeah, PG-13 with a fuck word.
Yeah.
With one fuck word?
One fuck word.
No, there had to have been more than that.
There is one fuck word.
Okay, one fuck word. There was plenty of other profanity.
There were a lot other fuck words originally. Every time they said mother humper, it was motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That was it.
We've got 2 more. I repeat, 2 more motherfuckers. Yeah.
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 But,
I've only seen the first one, and I saw it once. One time I turned on the TV, and there was one that took place there was like in the past or something, like in the distant past.
Yeah,
still starring the same guy.
Or fourth. I think that was the fourth
That was
one.
the third one.
Third?
Because second one was Ass Blasters. No, the second one was Ass Blasters. I think 3 was Back to Perfection. I haven't seen these in so long.
And that one guy's in all of them, right?
I haven't seen anything.
The Family Ties guy's in all of them?
Gross.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Gross is in all of them.
Michael Gross.
But there are 7 movies and an entire TV series.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the 4th one.
Okay.
That's the Legend Begins, because it was essentially a movie made to usher in the television show.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So other than Tremors, I got 2 others. First of all, I've gotten fully caught up now on Record of Ragnarok.
Hey.
Which I talked about last time, and I was only about 5 episodes from the end of the season, and at which point the contestant for the next fight was Buddha, wherein we discover that Buddha is the Cartman of gods.
Oh no!
His only defining characteristic is, I do what I want. That is literally his defining characteristic, is he doesn't like to be doing what other people tell him to, mostly other gods. So he enters the ring and declares he's going to fight on the human side. But literally, that was all I could think of as I'm watching this is, oh great, Buddha is the Cartman of gods.
I thought you meant he was going to be like anti-Semitic and worship Hitler.
Or feed people to their parents, or feed parents to their kids, or something. Was there an episode where Cartman fed like someone's kid?
Yeah.
There was that. It was it was a great episode.
But yeah, it's more cultural appropriation of just vast and shiny ignorance on the behalf of whoever is writing this.
I have it on my list.
Either that or they're straight trolling. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know Buddhism well enough to know when exactly what they got wrong, but I am reasonably certain they got vast swaths of Buddha's backstory wrong. So, and the other thing I watched was on the flight here, I watched Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh,
good movie.
I haven't seen that in a while, but I liked it.
That was
Clooney's.
Yeah.
That was Clooney's debut,
that was
right?
Clooney. That one.
That was his first one.
Clooney.
And it was Sam goddamn Rockwell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Drew Barrymore.
Charlie goddamn Kaufman.
In it. Yeah. Cameos by Dick Clark as Dick Clark.
I remember this now.
So, for those of you who don't know it, it is the story of, what's his name? Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris,
yeah.
Chuck Barris, who invented a handful of game shows back in the early days of that. The Newlywed Game, the Dating Game, the Gong Show, stuff like that. And then years later, after all of that, he wrote a memoir in which he revealed that he was actually a hitman for the CIA. And that all of the travels he went on as part of this show were just a cover for him to go to various locales around the world where he would assassinate people.
Going to lovely Prague.
Yeah, no, West Berlin. That was the great one.
Yeah.
And where he was at one point captured by the Russians and then exchanged to the U.S. for a Russian spy who it turns out had actually been one of the contestants on one of his shows. In reality, there is sizable suspicion that he made all this up. In the film, it is actually a more entertaining version of A Beautiful Mind because everything is so patly wrapped up at the end that it stretches credulity to the point where you wonder if this is all in his head. Because it's treated exactly the same way as it was in A Beautiful Mind, in that it's always the CIA has just this mysterious figure who comes in and recruits him, and then he becomes this super badass killing machine, and then his handler hires him to catch a mole, and the mole kills everyone he knows in the organization, and then he manages to kill the mole and walks away scot-free at the end. So could very easily be a schizophrenic break or paranoid schizophrenia.
Well, I mean, consider the Gong Show. Barris was an epic troll as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Barris practically invented that in the public sphere, at least the 20th century.
I loved the Gong Show. Man, my brother and I watched that all the time.
I watched one episode of that once, and it involved a gorilla doing a striptease, and I never went back. So
I remember the guy doing the worm, anyway, it's the best.
What's interesting is
look up the Mystic
there was some very bad stuff, but
at the same time, it's where we got Oingo Boingo from.
Yeah.
Oingo Boingo's first TV appearance.
He is confronted by people who keep telling him that he is the downfall of Western civilization. That he has single-handedly destroyed television and increased the stupidity of the American people. Including one woman in a bathing suit, like in a secluded moment, she corners him and just proceeds to tell him he is the worst human being who has ever existed.
It's a fantastic movie.
I need to rewatch it. I have seen it, but it's been a long
I remember liking it. I saw it in theaters just the one time.
Everybody loves that movie. I'm the only one who doesn't. I just don't.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay.
I don't love it.
You were acting about it. I'm sure.
I actively disliked it when it came out. I haven't seen it since it came out, so half my lifetime.
Okay. What did you dislike about it? Do you recall?
I just said it's been half my lifetime.
Do you recall anything about it?
I remember George
in your brain.
I remember George Clooney sitting on a diving board.
Diving board, bleeding to death. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I don't like Sam Rockwell very much, except in Galaxy Quest. Yeah, just not a fan. I think he's kind of smarmy.
Yeah,
that's like his whole thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Make the word for it.
And Moon. You didn't like it?
No, Moon is fantastic. I go to sleep to Moon. There are always exceptions to the rule, but Moon and Galaxy Quest are not enough to say I like him. I've disliked him actively for too many other.
No,
I
love him.
He has to actively be in space.
Yeah, that might be it. No, because I hated him as Zaphod Beeblebrox. Is that it?
Oh, yeah, that's who he was. Yeah.
Oh, he was Zaphod Beeblebrox?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't even put those two things together, but I didn't really. I think I might have possibly watched a little bit of that movie, but if you're gonna,
it's not great.
It's not a good movie.
Guy, just go back to
it's not good.
The radio drama or the TV show. I mean, it started as a radio drama.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
the radio drama, great.
And of course, Zaphod Beeblebrox's head on the television show was hilarious. Paper mache piece of crap sitting on his shoulder. But I think it was
charming.
Worth the price of admission. It was very charming. So yeah, try that one.
Anyway, don't. I have my personal opinions.
Yeah. But that's all from me.
All right, so I have to go now. Okay.
Yep.
I have watched 3 things. You totally broke up on me, Jenner.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying it had to happen eventually.
Yes.
Yes.
We showed Hellboy to the kids. I hadn't seen it since the theater. Well, no, I'd seen it since the theater. I haven't seen it in about 10 years.
Del Toro's.
Yeah.
Del Toro's.
Not the David Harbour. I've seen the David Harbour. It was fucking awful.
Oh, I thought that was great.
I haven't seen it. I heard it was terrible.
I've seen it.
It is a thing.
I can understand why you would like it. There's a certain sensibility to it that I could see you would appreciate. I don't.
Mm-hmm. I suppose I can. I should have hated that movie, and then it got to the point where the Panther Man and Hellboy were going into the room, and it started playing "Kickstart My Heart," and I'm like, okay, we've agreed to be stupid. This is fine.
Lobster Johnson.
Yes.
Lobster Johnson.
Yes.
It's a fine movie. I still like it. I like that Mignola signs off on it. I have my own little with it, but it's fine. The kids liked it a lot. Amelia liked it a lot. Declan thought it was okay. There were no cars in it though, so yeah.
Are you getting to the Golden Army soon?
No, not anytime soon. It wasn't a big enough hit in the household to get me to push the second one, which is so good. I love the second one. You don't? Okay, wait.
Such a freaking amazing movie.
It's a gorgeous movie.
Yes.
That's what I mostly remember about it. I don't remember the story.
I don't either. I remember the big giant
and dumb as a brick.
What are we talking about? Because Jenner broke up and I couldn't hear what he said.
The second Hellboy 2?
The Golden Army.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay.
Yeah.
It is the same plot as Trek 3. where he's anxious about having kids. That's the plot of Hellboy 2.
Oh, that's right, because they made them have a relationship, which is just so weird to me, and that's why I didn't like the movie when I first saw it. Like, I liked the movie, but that addition was just so off-putting.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
like they're trying to appeal to a different audience, and
I think I think Del Toro thought there needed to be a romance, or maybe it was some kind of fanfic thing for him. Maybe he's been writing fanfic about them, and this is what he got to do because he's the one who can do it now. He can do whatever he wants, and now he can finally make what it was in his head happen. That's the way I'd look at it.
The irony is that the Hellboy comics right now have just wrapped up a story of Hellboy in Love, where he does have a relationship with a completely new character, and it rings true, and it's interesting and fun, and it was not the bullshit they pulled in the second movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can move on from Hellboy. I love the comics. I haven't read it in a long time though, so I'm not caught up. But
it'd be very hard to catch up at this point. It went in every direction at once.
I know. When they had 4 different concurrent titles, that's when I quit. I hear there are more now.
It's all separate. It's all entirely standalone miniseries now.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's better or worse.
It's just more money.
It's more.
The second thing I watched was the Venture Brothers movie. I don't know how many of you are fans.
How is it?
I keep getting told I have to watch Venture Brothers. I haven't at all.
Hey,
Jenner made me watch.
I need to finish it,
and it was okay. I mean, it was interesting and entertaining, but it didn't. I didn't love it so much that I felt like I needed to keep going.
Venture Brothers is my favorite TV show of all time.
All right,
I can believe that.
Yeah, and so the movie.
Did the movie make you happy?
Yes, it did. Very much so.
Oh, good.
But
glad to hear it.
The movie will make 0 sense for anybody who hasn't watched all of those seasons and seared into their memories every goddamn little mystery drop here and there throughout the thing. The 28 years it took to make their 6 seasons. God, it's been
So I'm good, is what you're telling me. I'm good to watch it then.
So okay, you're good then.
I need to finish it. I need to finish it still.
Yeah. It picks up right where the last episode of the last season left off. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long episode.
It's the victory lap for the hard. It's the victory lap for the hardcore.
Yeah, and
on.
To me, what it served me was it wasn't like a big giant birthday cake that would taste delicious but a little bit fakey. They served like a platter of meat to kind of reflect on, like a great bowl of ramen. That's what it feels like to me. Very warm. I highly recommend it for Venture Brothers fans.
I know how.
All right, I'll add the TV series to my list, but man, it's a big
I know
list.
how seriously you take your ramen, so
it is also.
I know how strong a compliment that is.
It is dated. There are some things that we used to say in the 90s that is not okay anymore, such as the R word.
R word, okay.
Yeah, which I still laugh when it's said in the show because I can't help it. It's ingrained in me. It's like part of who I am, and so I just try not to. I just want to make it clear there are some things in there that might be a little questionable.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I was just reminded because I heard recently there was a remake of Adventures in Babysitting. Yeah. And I watched a clip of Keith Coogan and his little sister where he calls Thor a homo repeatedly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's in that kid's movie.
So awful. So awful. But no, yeah, so I loved it. The last thing I've been watching is because there's a new series coming out. Amelia and I, and she hasn't seen it, Amelia and I have been watching the Netflix Castlevania series.
Oh, I've only seen the first season, which was what, 3 episodes? The first season was like 3 episodes, right?
It was
something
4.
Really short.
Yeah,
4
episodes.
I've seen that. Yeah. I haven't seen beyond that. That was just a prologue.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I still need to see the rest of it. I've been meaning to, I just haven't.
Again?
You prepared her
but so that's going well.
If if you like Castlevania so much that you've gone through the series and pinpointed every little detail and seared it into your mind, you will like Castlevania. If you haven't, it does a great job of bringing you up to speed and everything. It's really good.
First season was great fun. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I played the original, and I played about half of Symphony. That's as deep as my Castlevania goes. I enjoyed them. I mean, Symphony more than the first one, but
okay. The second season has two characters that are in one game on the PS2 that did not sell very well, and they're the Forge Masters, Hector and Isaiah.
Okay.
They're in God, it's like Curse of Darkness or something. But the PS2 Castlevania.
I couldn't name a PS2 Castlevania. I always thought it was just Nintendo for a while.
It
was for a while.
Yeah.
I think I still have a ROM of Castlevania 64 around here somewhere.
I own Symphony on my PS5. I just haven't gone back to play it.
I play it at least once a year. That's a favorite of mine. That and Metroid, because they're essentially the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the Castlevania show, when I watched it, it struck me that this is what they would be if it was legitimately localized, and that because it is animated and it is written so colloquially English that they're not struggling to make the lines fit in any respect, and it's anime quality animation with actual naturalistic dialogue. There's a point in there, I can't even remember what the triggering sentence was, but Simon just reflexively goes, "Fuck off and die." And it struck me as so naturalistic for that moment.
Trevor, I just watched that. That was that was when on the first episode of the second season when Alucard and Trevor are waiting for is it Sypha to come back. They say that to each other behind their backs. He says, "I hate you," and then the other one says, "Fuck off and die."
Fuck off and die.
It's so perfect. It's so perfectly enunciated.
Exactly, and it feels so American English fluent. It doesn't feel like they're trying to fit it to the mouth flaps. It feels like it was animated to that line, like they recorded the audio first and then animated, which is the privilege we almost never get in Japanese quality animation with English audio.
Yeah. Well, Warren Ellis has some friends now, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that show is largely in thanks to Warren Ellis, which I think is cool. Great show. I highly recommend it. The next season is coming out soon. It's taking place like 1,000 years after the last 5 seasons, or four seasons, 4 or 5.
I think there have been 4.
Okay.
I've been wrong before.
But it's covering the Castlevania Nocturne arc of Castlevania, which is I think Nocturne was a Game Boy Advance game. Either that, I think it was Game Boy Advance. I won't stake my life on it, but I'll say that maybe.
Oh wait, I do have one of the DS ones. Something Harmony. I don't know. Something of Harmony. Harmony of something. I don't know.
Harmony of Dissonance?
Yes.
Great game.
That's a DS one, right?
Yeah.
I do own that one.
Maybe the DS ones is where Nocturne comes from. I have to look it up. I haven't played them in so long, but yeah, that's a great one. That's a fun one to play. I recommend any of them.
Castlevania 64.
Okay, not any of them.
I haven't played that one. I didn't have it in 64.
Oh, that was a slog. There are so many ways to hardlock yourself out of winning. It's really, you can tell it wasn't even tested. They just got it out the door as quickly as possible because Nintendo was like, hey, we're releasing a console next week. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Every IP has a 64 version. Now, go.
Oh, best thing about Venture Brothers. I just remember this. My favorite thing about it, Darkman reference.
Really?
It has a Darkman.
I need to go back and watch it. I still have that on
reference.
DVD somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's dark. It's obviously Darkman. It looks just like him. And the thing he keeps doing over and over to show that he really is Darkman is he keeps going.
Like the bit when he goes berserk with the tin hat on his. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a bunch of other references in that section. You'll dig it. It's so good. It's so good.
So is Venture Brothers done? I mean, not. Do you feel like they've capped it off?
Yeah.
And now they move on to something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's mined. It's good. To go any further with that show would be annoying at this point, especially since it wouldn't happen for another 28,000 years, because that's how long they take to write one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's all I've watched recently. Why don't we move on to figuring out what we're watching for next week? What do we got?
My vote.
Oh, what is it again? It's that
Action Mutante.
That's it. That's it.
Action Mutante.
Action Mutant.
I just found a movie on Amazon Prime called Avalanche Sharks, which I don't want to watch. That sounds like a movie that you guys would want to watch. Though.
I don't. No. There's an industry of bad movie, which I find that knows it's bad is very hard to pull off, and it's been done many times, but they do it to make a buck.
Many times it has been tried.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think everybody's already seen this but me, but Dungeons and Dragons is on Prime now, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, it's great.
Now I don't have to pay for it.
It's I wouldn't say it's great, but it is definitely quite good. It's weird
delightful.
that it doesn't aim for.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it doesn't aim for like record-shattering, world-rending stakes and stuff.
Right,
like
it's like it's a comedy, right?
Yeah, it's mostly comedic.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much do you have you played D&D since you played here?
Me?
Yeah.
I was playing D&D every Thursday with Brett for
a year and
a half.
So you know how a campaign feels
until his sister got married, we were playing every week.
Okay. There. Yeah. You know exactly how that feels.
That was like May was when we stopped.
That's the way I watch the movie, is thinking of it from the perspective of people playing a campaign. We're actually watching one of those campaigns be made into a movie.
Very much so.
That's how it feels.
All very forgotten roles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm a big fan. I don't think we need to cover it for this show, but
you guys have probably already seen it too, so
yeah,
it's fine.
I have a suggestion, but I don't know because I know Shane's seen it.
I think we are going to go with Action Mutant because Wagner's been waiting for like 2 weeks for this fucking thing.
Okay.
But I still want to know your suggestion.
I want to see Avatar: Way of Water.
Oh, I want to see that.
And it's on HBO or Disney or something, but I've seen it. I haven't watched it, but I would like to actually discuss it because I kind of felt like the first one was worth discussing a lot, even in its flaws. I mean, especially its flaws. So I assume that this one would have that too. But
any chance to talk about James Cameron?
I am only coming onto this. I haven't been here for a while, and apparently, Matt, he really should get priority there. So
that's fine.
Would you rather watch Avatar: Way of Water?
If we watch Avatar: Way of Water, I may skip that week.
I won't skip it, but I'm not going to watch it again.
Yeah, don't.
Oh wow!
I don't need to watch it again.
Wow!
I probably would watch it again, but I'd have to do it on this coming Monday night, and that's going to be a little strained for time. Like I said, I'd like to watch it again, and I'm just not sure I'm going to watch it for this program. I want to see Action Mutante.
Okay, then let's do that, and we can do the Avatar one in we
can do it eventually.
Here's what we should do, because Shane doesn't want to watch it again. Jenner probably doesn't either.
I'll talk about it.
Wagner doesn't give a shit about it.
I
will watch it. We'll do a little side project, and you and I will watch it.
All right, that sounds good. And I'll try and find Action Mutant. What is that?
Look up Action Mutant. That's how it's listed
where's it available?
Like search engines.
Yeah.
I was like, now I have to look it up again. I own the thing.
Where can we watch it?
I'm looking it up right now.
It's probably on Pluto or
something. Mutant.
Freebie.
Yeah.
Wait, Mutant Action?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, is that? It's back. I was saying it backwards.
Well, the original title is Action Mutante, but it's apparently translated as Mutant Action.
It's Mutant Action, like a political group.
Okay. It's on Amazon for $1, or it's on.
It's $2 now. It says it's $1, but it's actually $2 when you click on it.
Oh, good lord!
That's
inflation.
Fine.
There's something called Night Flight Plus. I don't think it's a free channel.
Oh man, Night Flight. That was like the best. I mean, I think most of y'all are too young to love.
I don't know. It sounds like a fly-by-night.
I remember Night Flight.
Oh man, they had the best movies. Oh my god, it was the best. And they had music videos. We didn't have MTV in my town, so we would wait for Night Flight on USA, and it was like 4 hours of movies and music videos.
Wow.
And they were great movies too.
Yeah.
Did you have Up All Night? Did you have Up All Night?
USA?
That was a different one. Yes, but I did see that. Yeah.
I loved that show.
But Night Flight. Oh, Night Flight was TBS's version of it. That's it. Night Flight was TBS's.
Okay.
And USA had Up All Night as well. I got that mixed up. We didn't have a lot of channels. I think we had like 5.
That's how I was introduced to fucking. God damn it. I'm not going to say the name I'm thinking because I know it's not him, and it's a weird crisscross. Fucking, what's his name? Gilbert Gottfried. I love Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah,
that's where I first got introduced from.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the name Steve Guttenberg out of my head. I saw curly dark hair on both of them, and I think that's where my wires got twisted.
Okay, so we're going to watch Mutant
Action.
And Avatar Way of Water. And we will discuss as necessary, or as long as it takes. Okay,
sounds good. All right.
All right. Feels like a plan.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here on What's on the Pile. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can you can find us here, just if you want to. Forget all the other social media bullshit. I don't want to deal with it. Just hang out here, chat here, leave a comment, join us. It's fun.